Races. Two of my little series on certain things in South Africa that is going wrong. So let's start. So I want to read something to you. Um, Definition of racism: prejudice, discrimination, animosity directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. May not. Let's look at the situation in South Africa right now. With what's really going on. What are your enemies in South Africa right now? Your main enemies in South Africa is racism. The spewing of hatred to get a vote without thinking about the consequences of the future. When one considers that we're all born to be taught, and what are we taught? We are not born racists. We are taught to be racists. And we are taught to be racists by our parents, by our politicians, and by people that want to use you to manipulate your thoughts. It is also a tool used by most people to conquer and divide. In South Africa, irrespective of race, color, or creed, as I said last night, every child born in their country is an African and a South African, no matter what color you are. The politicians in South Africa are using racism as a form of discrimination in order to control. They have basically reversed apartheid the other way. The new South Africa, based on what Mandela's dream of the new South Africa and the Rainbow Nation, was a lie. The Constitution states that you cannot discriminate against race, color, creed, or even gender. But yet that is happening today. You have political parties standing up and saying, if one black man dies, go kill women and children and their pets. Another man standing up and telling them, we will take your land, we will make you our servants. And others are screaming, kill the Boer, one bullet, one Boer. And the rhetoric keeps going on and on, but what they don't realize, they target one minority, and yet there are lots of minorities. Now let's talk about racism. I grew up in Durban, Natal, KwaZulu-Natal, in Umgeni Road when I was a little boy. We were poor. We weren't the richest middle class, we were poor. And in that street there lived black people, Indian people, colored people, and white people in that same road. And we all got along. All the way from down by Windsor Park School all the way to town. There were all kinds of races living on that road. So you all know. Let's talk about the white people now. I'm an English guy. I grew up during apartheid. And we had problems with the white people, among the white people. Afrikaans people hated English people, and English people hated Afrikaans people, but we were white. The Zulus hate the Pondos, and the Pondos hate the Zulus. And then the tribes between tribes, the Mapamulus and the Makanyas, they would have faction fights in the Indian communities. the Hindus, the Tamils, the Muslims. If a black man is too black, they don't like him. That's racism. If a black man's too light, they don't like him because then he looks like a white man. If a white man is too dark, he's a colored man. And the colored community is the same. So what are we talking here, people? We all look at each other in some form of racism. Today, we hear from the political parties that are looking for votes to incite people to commit violence against other minorities based on their race, and yet they don't look at themselves. They don't look at themselves. Has these political parties considered that a Chinese man is not a black man? And if he owns land, what are they going to do? Take his land too? The Indian fellow, the colored fellow, and the Khoisan man that was here before they came? Or the white man that's had a family here for 350 years? And no man alive today was born then. No man, no woman, no child. It's all a lie. It's a lie to divide and conquer. At what expense? And I call on everybody in South Africa to consider this. Excuse me, I'm sick. What are we doing? To all the moderate blacks out there, do you honestly think that these white people hate you? To the black people that are getting excited that they're going to get something for free, are you honestly going to get something for free? Because I can tell you right now, you can go to the loan bank and get $5,000, and they give you think you've got a piece of land on that they told you, yes, go take that piece of land, and you go build your shack. And what happened the next week? They knocked your shack down, and you lost your money, and now you have nothing to show for it because they lied to you. And that's exactly what they're doing now. They don't report that some of the farmers have built housing for them and given them solar power. No, they don't tell you that. Just take, burn, break down, blame. It's easy to blame. Malema, Andile, and all these others that want to cause trouble and cause hatred and division. I remember when black people used to sing when they went to work. They used to sing on the Friday. People were happy. Now people are angry. Because why? 25 years you should be ahead. You're 25 years behind. You've lost 50 years now. Because you lost the 25 and now you have to try and catch up the next 25 so that you can start again. That's 50 years of wasted hatred because of racism. BEE does not work. All you did was cause division and people lose their jobs and now they have no money and you have criminals everywhere because of racism. How many of you black people raised white children? I know a lady, her name was Elizabeth Kumalu. She was like my mother. I knew her better than my own mother. My mother worked. This lady bathed us, cleaned us, fed us, beat us when we were naughty, and gave us some morals. Her name was Elizabeth Kumalu. I still remember her dearly. The Zulu lady, very tall. And then many of you know these people. And to the farmers, I know it's good to be, but think about something. When you grew up, who was your best friend? It's the black kids that you played with, who taught you the language. And to the black kids that are out there that know the white people that you've grown up with, do you honestly want to see them die? In the black communities right now, you have racism, terrible racism, between the tribes, the Zulus and the Xhosas. and the Sutus and the Zwendas and the South Sutus and and everybody else and the Pondos. If you're not the right color, if you're not the right race, you hate each other. Why? There is only one race on this earth. It's called human. So I call upon all of you in South Africa. Look at your brother and your sister. No matter what the color they are, you're all born under that land. Do not believe these politicians that feed you hatred, because all they're doing is making you angry and you hate your brother. And what you have in your heart is black, and you can't see the light. And in the end, there will be nothing when you've burnt it to the ground. And there's nothing for tomorrow, nothing for your children to go to school, because it's all gone because you hated somebody. And when it's all gone, there is nothing but you standing with the evils in your hands. And one day you will have to face God. And what will you say? When you've killed a child, or you've killed a man, or you've raped a woman, or you've done something terrible that you should never have done. Never have done. And believe me, I've seen war horrible. It's a horrible, horrible thing. There is no discrimination between men and women and children. All die. A bomb and a bullet doesn't decide where it goes once it's flying. It kills indiscriminately. And the actions of men and women today will be the result of tomorrow. And the future of South Africa is dependent on what we do today. And I call on all of you to think about peace. You take a man's land, he will hate you. You take away his hope, he will do anything. But if you give him hope, and you put your hand out and you shake each other's hand and you think about tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Why would you vote for a party that wants to kill people and wants to take their property, who wants to make you poor? Because honestly, do you honestly think that the rest of the world's not watching? That you're killing the farmers? And you're not just killing the farmers, you're raping them and torturing them and making them ugly. It's ugly. And you should stand up, because that is your food. That is your food that these evil people are doing. And many of you black people, yes, you are scared, just like the white people are scared. But if you do not all stand up together as one under a Christian nation, and I call upon the Muslims and the Tamils and the Hindus too to stand, and any other religion out there that thinks of only thing that is good under God, stand up and be counted, because you know what? In the end, what are you going to be left with? The bones of the dead in front of you that you caused the lights of dead. It's wrong. It's wrong. I saw a video the other day of a young boy, a black boy, going to school in his tie, and he's dressed well, and he's going to school to uplift himself. And 4 boys stabbed him to death in the street for his money, and nobody helped him. Why? Was he the wrong tribe, or just because they didn't like him? Nobody did a thing. It's the same as racism. Stand up for racism. Stand up and say no more. President Ramaphosa, you know what you need to do is right, not this. You have Malema running around saying things that shouldn't be said. Andile calling for the death of women and children. And do you honestly think that the international communities are going to want to invest when criminals are inciting racism? What is racism? It's what we have been taught, not what we were born with. When we are born, we are not born racists. We become them. We're taught to become a racist. I ask every black man in South Africa, do you know a white man that's your friend? And did you work with all your life? Do you want to kill him? I don't think so. Is it true that have not been developed better than the white man? That is true. But whose fault is that? You cannot blame the white man after 25 years, nor the Indian or the colored man that's trying to make a better living. Most of the whites in South Africa, all they want to do is live in peace. So do the Indians, the coloreds, the Xhosa, and any other minority, Chinese, Japanese, and all the other different races too. Italian, Jews, Germans, Lebanese, Portuguese, they're all there. English, Afrikaans. What are you thinking? To all the tribes, you hate each other. Why? All the even in the family tribes, they fight each other over faction fights. Why? Does it serve a purpose to kill a man or a woman or a child? You have this blood on your hands, and God knows. And this is wrong. To all the church leaders out there, why are you silent? Why are you silent? You are Christian people. You are God-fearing people. To the Muslims, the Hindus and the Tamils too, and all the other religions, where are you? Why aren't you uniting against this crime of racism? It is devastating your country. And these political parties that are advocating this racism all the time, the IEC of South Africa should have been shut them down. I call upon all the politicians in South Africa that do not want this to happen and do not want to hear this nonsense out there, file a grievance. Get rid of these people. We don't need them in your country, because that is your future forever if you don't stop it now. There's an old saying, but for the few brave men and women stood against evil. The rest of you cannot be couch potatoes, and I hope it goes away. To all the attorneys in South Africa, pool your resources together and volunteer your time. File a lawsuit against these people when they spew this nonsense, and hold the judges accountable. And if they don't want to do it, hold them accountable again until you get to the highest court in South Africa. They cannot deny. And I'm asking all races to do it. Indians, there's lawyers. Coloreds, there's lawyers. Blacks, there's lawyers. Whites, there's lawyers. Join forces in a group to hold these people accountable. You got to understand. If the law does not prevail, you have no law. That means you have nothing. But why are you walking around with blinkers hoping it doesn't touch you? It's touching you every single day. It is a hatred. It's a sickness fed by people that are evil. There's only one race in the world, and that's a human race. And it consists of many colors. South Africa was supposed to be the rainbow nation. What happened? To the moderate black people out there, please do not listen to these people. They're not telling you the truth. To the white people out there, stand up for your rights. As a human being, stand up for your rights. Don't let them take your pride. Don't let them take your soul. Do not let them take anything from you. To all the minorities, I'm saying the same thing. You have power. Stop hoping that somebody else will save you from it. You have to save yourselves as well. There's a lot of us out here, but we're getting tired now. We're really getting tired, and we need your help too. We can't do this alone. Yes, I brought the world, and it's behind me, believe me. It's coming. And we've been working really, really hard. And there's some very, very powerful people working with us now. But you have to stand up for yourselves too. If you see criminals in the street, report them. If you see somebody being a racist, report them. I understand that the racism is on. If you go to the police station, they won't help you. Hold them accountable. Find lawyers. Form groups that if these policemen do not do their jobs, hold them accountable and get them fired. Hold every politician out there and get them fired. Anybody that advocates racism, get them fired. It's a human rights violation. It's against the Constitution of South Africa. And it's wrong. Tomorrow, I will talk about crime. In my third session on this third part of this series, I will talk about crime and how crime is affecting our country with racism, connected. It's all part of it. The two terrible things. Understand something. Why would you go? I want to leave this question to everybody. Why would you go to a farm? And if you want the land, don't tell the people to get in their car and tell them to drive off and leave the farm right there. But instead, they rape the children and the parents and the mother and the father, and they steal just the TV and a couple of cell phones and leave them in a bloody mess and never come back. Why? I ask you this question. Is it racism? Or there's a plan to just get you off the land? Why? To all the moderate black people in South Africa, remember something. When you have taken all the farms and you have attacked all the white people and there's nothing left to eat, remember my words today. Those same evil people that are feeding you this hatred will be gone. They will run away. And there will be nothing left to eat but his words. And yet, if you join forces and join hands in brotherly love, you can become a force to reckon with throughout Africa and show them an example of something completely different. You don't need this evil. Push it away. All the Christian leaders and all the God-fearing people in South Africa join forces and fight this evil of racism. That's my message today. I'm out of here. Take care, everybody, and be safe. And love your brother and sister. That's all I'm saying, because that's all you got right now.